Do you procrastinate? Do you beat yourself up for not doing all the things you know you need to do? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Do you get stressed out? Don't worry, this video will help. Here is my very best way to eliminate procrastination and overwhelm. In fact, if you use the ideas I present here, I can promise you that you'll see a huge improvement in your personal performance fast. Hey, smart people, your favorite Uncle Matt back with you, and I've got some guaranteed help for you in this episode. So, be sure you watch it all. Look, this is not going to be a bunch of feel-good philosophy either. You're going to get a better understanding of what's actually holding you back and a couple of practical things that you can easily do to eliminate procrastination and stop feeling completely overwhelmed. By the way, this video is being brought to you by the good people at BetterHelp.com. Sometimes people just have more serious problems in coping with life than can be handled by watching a YouTube video like this one. That's why it's good to know that you can book a personal appointment with a licensed therapist who's qualified to help you out on an individual basis. You fill out some basic information so you can be matched with someone who specializes in the sort of issues you're dealing with. You get someone you can relate to. You even get to select the best ways to communicate with your therapist, by phone or text or email or video chat and so on. Whatever seems to work best for you. Click the link in the description below my video and check them out. It could be just the solution you're looking for. So, let me ask, when you're feeling overwhelmed, how do you usually handle it? What's your typical response? Do you feel paralyzed? Do you freeze up? Or do you just mentally quit and do nothing? Do you procrastinate and put off the tasks you know that you need to be doing? Do you ever feel that it's just pointless to even get started? Or are you the opposite? Do you run around like a chicken without a head trying to frantically get everything done? Do you try to please everybody? If you do that, you'll just wear yourself out and probably feel even worse than before. Procrastination or feeling overwhelmed are frequent and common problems with most people. It's become part of our culture. It's a natural response. But remember, just because it's natural doesn't mean it's doing you any good. Here's one way people try to deal with it, but one that actually can leave you worse off than when you started. Oftentimes, in the face of dealing with too many projects, you might be tempted to multitask. Let me tell you, that's a serious mistake. Multitasking is not the answer. In fact, it is exactly the opposite of what you should be doing to deal with the issue. If you've seen my series called Instant Concentration, I have a whole chapter dedicated to multitasking and why it hurts you rather than helping you. And I use this example. Let's say you went in for a serious operation. Do you want your surgeon multitasking and checking their social media status, making dinner reservations, checking the stock market returns while they're operating on you? No, obviously not. Why not? Look, the human brain is simply not set up to multitask with any high level of efficiency. Yes, in the front part of your brain, the frontal cortex, you can process a few tasks simultaneously for a little while. But what's really happening is that you're jamming up your main brain, your core brain. It's like a paper jam in a copier. The machine is working like mad, but nothing's getting done. Thinking about too many things at once is what triggers your procrastination. That's what's causing you to feel overwhelmed. Too much to think about at one time. Okay, so what are the solutions? It's easier than you realize. So don't dismiss what I'm about to tell you because you think it couldn't possibly be this simple. It is simple, but you have to apply the ideas that I'm about to give you. First, let me tell you about how to think about the issue. And then I'll give you some practical things you can do right now. When you combine putting the right thoughts in your head together with taking a simple action, you can overcome even the worst procrastination. You won't feel so overwhelmed. It works like this. You can accomplish truly amazing results when you first break things down to small, bite-sized pieces. Maybe you've heard this old quote before: by the yard it is hard, by the inch it's a cinch. Those who have been through 12-step alcohol or drug treatment programs know that their motto is one day at a time. That's right. People who have been in the grip of alcohol or drugs feel that it's impossible to quit. And yet, by simply staying sober one day at a time, the impossible has been accomplished for many millions of people for generations. Be careful of thinking things like it's do or die, or it's all or nothing at all. Those types of thoughts will stop you from doing what needs to be done. Visualize your ultimate goal and take it one step at a time. Why do you put off writing that term paper, or studying for that exam, or calling that cutie you've had your eye on? There's a hidden reason behind your procrastination. Pay close attention to this, because this is big. You procrastinate when you don't expect to have a positive outcome. Did you get that? If you're not expecting things to go well, then you'll do what you can to try and avoid it. Think about it from the opposite point of view for a second. Suppose you were expecting to blow the professor's mind with your great term paper, or ace that upcoming test like it was nothing, or you knew that a hottie you were attracted to really wanted to go out with you too. Then you wouldn't hesitate, would you? You'd want to hurry up and get those great results as soon as possible. So, it's a matter of changing your expectations, and you do that by being aware of your thoughts and choosing to have positive ones rather than thinking the worst. Here's something else. You may not have ever heard anybody say this before. You can have anything you want in life, but you can't have everything you want in life. You have to make choices. Some things you'll have to say no to. Here's a peek into my own life that illustrates the point. About 8 years ago, I had been given the opportunity to play keyboards and go on the road with a touring band that was put together in order to resurrect the careers of 3 formerly famous rock musicians. However, my daughter was in middle school. I had a 6-figure corporate job, and I was in my 60s. I chose to turn down the opportunity. I couldn't be on the road touring with a band and be home to help raise my daughter at the same time. Like I said, you can have anything you want in life. As a musician, I played in bands based here in the Tampa Bay area where I was on the bill with many national acts. But I couldn't have everything. I couldn't go out on the road and tour. You must have priorities and make choices. Like I said, sometimes you just have to say no to people or tasks or opportunities that don't align with your higher goals. Okay, now that we've covered how to think more effectively about the process, let's get into the practical action part of overcoming procrastination and overwhelm. You can't wait until you feel like it. You've got to start even when you don't feel like it. The truth is, in order to accomplish anything worthwhile, you must begin even when you do not feel like it. Feelings change, and they can change quickly when you do the right things. Here's the rule. Do the simplest thing first, and soon you'll feel like it. It's like exercise. You may not feel like going for a 5-mile run, so instead, go take a walk. Run a few minutes. Pretty soon your body and your emotions will be synced up, and you can do that longer run. There's also something called writing therapy. This is where you write out the things that are bothering you so you can see them in the concrete world. It works for all sorts of stress and anxiety-related issues. When you reduce your feelings to writing, you are literally able to see what's bothering you. When you do this with your list of tasks, it gives you the ability to make choices. You get to put things in more of a priority order. Use a marker. Highlight 3 things on your list. Those are the most important things to do. Those are the must-dos. Then simply pick one and start on it. Do the easiest parts of your task first. For example, if you're putting off writing a big term paper, begin by making a written list of the topics that you want to include in your paper. Doesn't even have to be in order. Just write down a list of points that you want to make. Maybe you just can't get yourself to sit down and study. Perhaps you've got a bunch of classes and you're feeling overwhelmed. Pick one subject. Open your book and just begin. Use the ideas I've taught in some of my other videos where I show you how to absorb info from textbooks easier. Begin with giving yourself previews of the chapter. Pretty soon, you'll get more into the flow. Here's the bottom line. What is stopping you is simply your ability to get started. Once you can get yourself to begin, then you've overcome one of the biggest hurdles to overcoming your procrastination and feelings of overwhelm. You've heard it said countless times. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with but a single step. There you have it. Make a list of your tasks, put them in some sort of priority order, realize you may not be able to do everything on your list in the time you've got. Start with the easiest parts first and do one thing at a time and don't multitask. It's easier than you think. And when you get in the habit of having clear priorities and finding ways to get yourself started on the easiest parts first, your problems with procrastination will become a thing of the past. If you got benefit from this message, let me and the YouTube algorithm know by giving me a like with that big thumbs up button. Post a comment. Tell me your thoughts. You know I reply to a great many of them. If you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you do. And be sure to share my videos with those that you care about. I will look forward to seeing you on my other videos soon. Bye for now.